What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Afro Crypto channel. My name is Byron, and today we're going to talk about privacy coins. Basically, we're going to talk about what privacy coins are, like why people love privacy coins, examples of privacy coins, why people love to use privacy coins, and why I think governments don't like privacy coins. Now, so let's start. What are privacy coins? Basically, privacy coins are the type of cryptocurrencies that help people make transactions, but somebody can't be able to tell. Somebody can't be able to tell who the people at the end of the different transactions are. So when you look at coin market cap today, as you can see, I'm scrolling down on my screen. We have a number of privacy coins. We have coins like Dash, we have Monero, we have Zcash, we have Verge, we have I think Bytecoin. Yeah, Bytecoin is also a privacy coin. And you can see that, say, if you look at Verge right now, it has like a market capitalization of $250 million. Zcash has like $551 million. Dash has like over $2 billion in over $2 billion in market capitalization. So this basically means that people love these projects and people believe in these projects. And the reason as to why people believe in this project, or the reason as to why people use, say, privacy coins, for example, is because you'd want to, say, send money to somebody, and you don't want anybody to know who you send the money to and how much money you send that person. I can show you right now that when you listen to stories on the news where people are talking about, say, financial crimes. Yeah, financial crimes. I think like in September or in September or June 2017, there was a group of hackers that were taking over computers from different corporations. I think the thing was called WannaCry, and what they were doing was that when they took over different computers and the users of the computers couldn't log on, they would say, well, send us this much money in Bitcoin, and we'll be able to unlock your computer. Now, every time I hear such schemes, I smile because I think those hackers are very stupid. The reason as to why I think that's stupid is Bitcoin is not actually private. It's not as private as people think. If you say that, okay, I want you to send me, let's say, 10 Bitcoin to this account. Somebody can just get that account, and they can go to blockchain.info. And when they go to blockchain.info, as you can see on my screen, I'm on blockchain.info. Someone can get your particular address where you want the money sent to you. They plug it into blockchain.info, and they would find out all the information about that particular. They'll find out all the information about that particular address that you want people to send money to. So Bitcoin is not very private as what the mainstream media tries to make people think that Bitcoin is private. No, it's not. Ethereum is also not private. For every transaction that goes on to the Ethereum network, if you go to etherscan.io and you paste an Ethereum address into the search portal, you can be able to search any address and see what type of transactions were happening on that address, who sent the address money, where did the money come from, and where did the money go. And it's funny, especially for people in the US. Very many people in the US are able to transact with cryptocurrencies because they're able to buy cryptocurrencies with fiat. Say from, I could get, let's say I have $200 and I want to buy Bitcoin. I could create an account on Poloniex, the exchange, or I could create an account on Coinbase and send my $200 to Coinbase, and then I buy Bitcoins, or I buy Ethereum, or I buy Litecoin. Coinbase has only 3 coins. But the thing is, when I buy that Bitcoin, Coinbase automatically creates an address for me. And when it creates an address for me, let's say I buy Bitcoin, I have like a Bitcoin address on Coinbase. Now, I can, if I want to get these Bitcoins to, say, send them to some other address or send them to somebody else, I log into like Coinbase and then I send. Now, someone who is trying to monitor that particular transaction can see that I'm sending money from a Coinbase account, and because Coinbase has to follow KYC, like know your customer rules, to be able to operate in the US, people can know that this money came from this particular Coinbase user, so they can trace it back to you. So Bitcoin is not very private. Now, you also have to listen to the other side of why, say, people don't want, say, why governments don't want people to be like carrying out anonymous transactions. Think about this, right? If, say, a drug dealer, like anywhere in the world, a drug dealer got drug money and they want to move this drug money, say, from, I'll just make up an example, say South Africa, like somebody who deals in drugs in South Africa wants to send drug money from South Africa to, say, China, right? So they would, it would be very hard for them to transmit this money from South Africa to China, because they would have to take it to a bank, and if they take it to a bank, they'd have to like explain to the bank where they got the money from and why they're sending that money. And because there are banking rules that all banks in like different places have to follow, all transactions have to be verified. Like every transaction that goes through a bank has to be verified. The money has to be legit. And these criminals resort to using cryptocurrencies. Let's say I have my money, I buy Bitcoin, and then I can transmit this Bitcoin to someone in Brazil, or someone in China, or even somebody in the US. Now, if you send this Bitcoin to someone in the US, remember it's drug money to begin with, so it's very hard to it's very hard for the someone in government or like regulators to know, or people who work for the DEA to know that this money this was drug money that's being transmitted. Now, criminals like these love cryptocurrencies, or they would love to use privacy coins, because with the privacy coin, no one knows where the money came from, no one knows who the sender is, and no one knows who the receiver is. They can just see that a particular transaction actually went through. So from like a regulatory, so I wanted to explain the reasons as to why I think governments hate privacy coins. Think about this, right? Suppose you are like a regulator, like you work for the government. Let's say you work for the FBI, or you work for the DEA, and there is this guy who's like using privacy coins, or using cryptocurrencies, and he's trying to transfer $80 million, like say $80 million from the US to, say, Kenya. Like somebody wants to send that money to Kenya. So usually governments would want to know, okay, why are you sending this much money to Kenya? What are you going to do with this money? and the government in Kenya would like to know which person received a particular amount of money and what they're going to do with it, because say, and mainly in African countries, governments are worried about citizens receiving money. I wouldn't say African countries, I would say very many regimes around the world are worried about their citizens receiving unexplained money. So if you're the guy who's like running this particular government agency, and then you found that like people are receiving money, but you don't know where the money is coming from, and you don't know what they're going to use the money you don't know what they're going to use the money for. Maybe they're going to be using the money to do subversive activities, sort of like overthrow the government, or they're dealing in drugs, or if they're not dealing in drugs and they're not trying to overthrow the government, maybe they are trying to what else? Drugs, government, overthrowing the government. If they're not trying to overthrow the government, maybe they're trying to, I mean, like, people do all sorts of crazy things when they have the money. So from like, you'd want to know exactly why these people are getting money and why they're getting it. Like, it makes sense to me. The other thing is governments are funded by taxes. So they'd want to make sure that for any amount of money that they can get tax on, they're getting that tax. And if people are, let's say, making money and they are moving this money around, like they're able to like cover up their transactions using privacy coins to like send money to each other, or they make money and then like they try to hide the money. Yeah, hide is the word. So they try to hide the money. That means that the government will be missing out on potential revenue that they ought to get, which isn't very good from like a government point of view, because the governments need their money to function. So it makes total sense to me as to why like governments would want to regulate. They would want to regulate. They would want to know where people are sending money and why they're sending money. And the other thing is banks, because of say things like cryptocurrencies, you can be able to send money. Say if I had 5 Bitcoins right now, or if you can see on my screen, a Bitcoin is worth $5,503. If I had like 5 Bitcoins, I could be able to send these Bitcoins to someone else right now, and I would only be charged a transaction fee, which is like a few cents. So I'm able to move that much money in a short period of time, and no one is going to make money off my transaction. Now, banks don't like this, because banks basically deal in helping people store value, but then they also make a lot of money by like helping people transfer money from one place to another. So you can see why banks don't like Bitcoin. I think like a month ago, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Bank, came out and said Bitcoin is a fraud. And I can understand, like, from his point of view, if say cryptocurrencies keep on moving at the pace that they're moving on, and they're developing at the current pace, banks will be, I don't think banks will have like a long-term future. I don't think banks will have a long-term future if things continue to proceed as how they're proceeding. But I can also speculate that privacy coins, though people believe in them, like people love privacy coins a lot, and like they help them store their money, and they help them make private transactions, whether the transactions are legal or illegal, I don't know. I think governments will come in and try to regulate, and like they'll come in and try to kill privacy coins for that very reason that they can't know what's going on. Yeah, that's my take on privacy coins. I read some, lastly, I read some very interesting articles on private coins. Privacy coins, they're not called private coins, they're called privacy coins. So I'll put a few links on the video down below, so you can be able to read. This article is from the Cointelegraph, and it talks about untraceable coins storming into the top 10 cryptocurrencies. Then this one also basically explains the top 5 privacy coins and how the differences between like the top 5 privacy coins. Then this article talks about it's a comparison guide of anonymous cryptocurrencies. Basically, users, you can look at the different types of privacy coins, how they do what they do, and then choose the one that you believe is the most private privacy coin. Like from this graph right here, I think the guy, the writer is called the Master Crypto. Guy is called the Master Crypto. Shout out to the Master Crypto. He says that Monero meets all the, based on his criteria, because he's using 3 things. Privacy, which is the amount of, basically means the amount of coins you own, send and receive are not observable. Then fungibility and decentralization. Now, based on his framework, he compared Monero, Bitcoin, Zcash, Dash, and Verge, and he thinks that Monero meets all the conditions that he's looking for based on his criteria. So I'll put the links down below, the links to like these different privacy coin write-ups, and you can look at them and then decide for yourself. Oh, one last thing, Ethereum, I think Ethereum integrated ZK snacks into its platform, so probably Ethereum is planning to enable users to be able to mask some of the transactions that go on the Ethereum network. What's up, guys? Byron is back. I wanted to say, don't forget to comment. Don't forget to ask questions. Put your questions in the comments down below. I'll make sure that I respond to all your comments. And ask me questions or suggest ideas that you want me to work on my next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.